Hey, Pastor Mike here on location from the Kecksburg Church of God in Kecksburg, Pennsylvania. I have been filling in preaching here while they're looking for a new pastor for the past 2 or 3 months or so. And I'm on location here where it is 36 degrees, which as it turns out is about 20 degrees colder than would be recommended for this outfit. So I'm going to get right to it and get on with things. We read this in Colossians chapter 3. Put on then, as God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, compassion, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience, bearing with one another, and if one has a complaint against another, forgiving each other as the Lord has forgiven you, so you also must forgive. And above all these, put on love. Now I'm going to put this down. What is the point of that? Well, I wanted to come over here because Kecksburg, again, is looking for a new pastor. Our church, my home church, First Church of God in Latrobe, has loaned me out to help fill in, and we sort of partnered up with them, and it's been beautiful. So we're helping them along the way. Maybe you know someone who's going through a difficult time and they need someone to sort of bear with them and walk along with them. And that's really kind of what Christmas season is about, which we are in. But I want to read this. So sometimes it's easy to find fault with others, though, and decide, you know what, I'm not going to help them because that guy's a jerk, or that lady is horrible, and I just don't want to help them at all. Well, listen to this. This is from Thomas à Kempis. Great old writer. I heard somewhere that this book is the number 2 selling Christian book of all time, right behind the Bible. So listen to what à Kempis writes. He says, until God ordains otherwise, a man ought to bear patiently whatever he cannot correct in himself and in others. Consider it better thus perhaps to try your patience and to test you, for without such patience and trial your merits are of little account. Nevertheless, under such difficulties you should pray that God will consent to help you bear them calmly. If after being admonished once or twice a person does not amend, do not argue with him, but commit the whole matter to God, and his will and honor may be furthered in all his servants. For God knows well how to turn evil to good. Try to bear patiently with the defects and infirmities of others. Oh, good luck with that, right? Try to bear patiently with the defects and infirmities of others, whatever they may be, because you also have many a fault which others must endure. Now, wait a minute, Thomas à Kempis. You're saying I have faults that somebody else may have to endure? Let's see what else he says. He says, if you cannot make yourself what you wish to be, how can you bend others to your will? We want them to be perfect, yet we do not correct our own faults. We wish them to be severely corrected, yet we will not correct ourselves. Their great liberty displeases us, yet we would not be denied what we ask. We would have them bound by laws, yet we will allow ourselves to be restrained in nothing. Hence it is clear how seldom we think of others as we do of ourselves. If we were all perfect, what should we have to suffer from others for God's sake? But God has so ordained that we may learn to bear with one another's burdens. For there is no man without fault, no man without burden, no man sufficient to himself, nor wise enough. Hence we must support one another, console one another, mutually help, counsel and advise, for the measure of every man's virtue is best revealed in time of adversity. Adversity that does not weaken a man, but rather shows who he is. My goodness, you'd think Thomas à Kempis wrote this week from looking in the news, or this year. Well, guess what? Human nature is what it is. God is here to forgive us. God is here to make us who he wants us to be. So I want to encourage you to look at yourself first, then look at the world, bear with one another, love one another like God wants us to love. God bless.